Good afternoon, children. Children, good afternoon. Hello. So today's topic for revision is on the face of it. A very important story from your syllabus. Very thoughtful, having a didactic message. And I have recorded some of the important questions for you from the same chapter. To save time, I have written the questions on the board. Just look at it. What draws Davy towards Mr. Lamb in spite of himself? Children, you know, the two important characters of the story, Mr. Lamb and Derry. Through these two characters, the writer has tries to bring out the real essence of life. Generally, a very common issue that person suffering from physical impairment or disabilities, they are looked down upon by the common people, and this is a wrong notion. What is the fault of the person if he bears that brunt of life? But it doesn't mean that person is insignificant or unimportant in the society. History is replete with such examples that the people, despite their disabilities, have created wonders, created history. A number of examples are there, whether it is the civil services, Irashi, one of the example, having physical disability, top the list of IAS candidates. Even Roosevelt, both the legs were disabled, was the US president. Despite or in spite of their disabilities, he became the president of America. Several other examples are there. Disabilities were not the hurdles in the way of their success and upliftment in their lives. And this story very well brings out the idea, and it is a burning issue, rather traditional issue also, burning issue that draws our attention to be sympathetic, to love and treat those persons with respect and affection. And this is the theme, this is the central idea of this story. Derry is a character. Remove yourself from the spotlight. Yes, Derry. Mr. Lamb is a character who lives in the apple garden alone, the only house in the garden in which Mr. Lamb lives there. His one leg was blown out in a war. So he had a teen leg. He was physically challenged. But that physical challenge didn't disappoint Mr. Lamb anyway, in any way. And he was a great hearted human being. On the other hand, Derry is a character whose face was half burnt by acid, and due to that burnt face, he was so much depressed and he was suffering from guilt complex, pent-up guilt complex, and he doesn't want to expose himself in the society. He doesn't like to come among the people due to that complexity that my half face has been burnt. Anyway, coincidentally, he was able to visit the apple garden of Mr. Lamb, and he had an encounter with Mr. Lamb. Encounter not in a bad sense. Good sense means he came across, he met Mr. Lamb. In the very beginning, He was very much afraid of. He entered the garden knowing that nobody lived there. But all of a sudden he was able to see Mr. Lamb, and he was very much hesitant in the very beginning. But gradually, when the conversation started, and he was very much influenced by the behavior, the disposition, and the treatment made towards him by Mr. Lamb, understand? And was greatly influenced. There was a very positive impact in his life by Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb very beautifully tries to root out that pent-up guilt complex from his heart and soul, that physical impairment in no way a hurdle in the elevation of our soul, because appearance is often deceptive. It is not the appearance, it is the beauty of, so beauty doesn't lie in the appearance, it lies in our action, it lies in our soul. So, and I think this is the universal case, this is the universal issue, what has been displayed in this story, and this issue is global, universal. Because it is also said, children, you know, there is a proverb that handsome is that handsome does. You might have heard or read. Handsome is that handsome does. Very often I quote, if such issues appear during the preaching, I must quote this small story of a hunting dog and a stag that very well brings out the idea that beauty doesn't lie in appearance, because Shakespeare has already said, written that all that glitters is not gold. So, what happens? There was it. Before coming to the point of discussion, I must say that just listen to this story. This will bring out the concept of beauty and appearance. There was a stag. Stag, you know, a deer with branching horns. There are several types of deer, but a particular deer called a stag, he or she has branching horns. And he was proud of his beauty of his horns. So once it so happened that the stag was moving here and there in the forest in search of water. He was thirsty and he went near a lake. Since the water of the lake was very clear and transparent, so he was able to see the reflection of his horns in the clear water of the lake. And he was charmed to see the beauty of his horns. And suddenly words came out, words of self-appreciation came out of his mouth that had my horns been as beautiful as had my legs. Actually, the stag had ugly hair. He regarded his legs to be ugly and he compared that and said, had my legs been as beautiful as my horns are, I would have been the most beautiful creature of the forest. Was comparing the beauty of the horns and the ugliness of his legs with a contrast. He regarded his legs to be ugly and he regarded his horns to be very beautiful. And he said, had my legs been as beautiful as my horns are, I would have been the most beautiful creature of the forest. Understand? Just then, this thought was going on in his mind. Just then he heard something, looked back and saw some hunting dogs were approaching towards him. He saw his life in danger and started running with the fullest capacity as he ran as fast as he could do. And just ran away, far away from the hunting dogs. He was almost safe, but unfortunately, his beautiful horse got trapped in the bushes of the forest, and he tried to come out of that bush. He tried to just release himself from the bushes of the forest, but the more he tried, the more he was trapped. Until then, the hunting dogs reached there and they tore the stag into pieces. Tore the stag into pieces, and the moment he was dying, he said, see, what was the earlier statement? Had my beautiful legs, had my beautiful house been as beautiful as, had my ugly legs been as beautiful as my horns are, I would have been the most beautiful creature of the forest. Now it is reversed. What did he say while dying? My ugly legs, which I always hated. Listen to my ugly legs, which I always hated, would have saved my life had my beautiful horns not deceived me. See, my ugly legs, which I always hated, would have saved my life had my beautiful horns not deceived me. So now, what is the conclusion of this story? That whether the legs were beautiful or the horns were beautiful, of course legs were beautiful, means handsome is that, handsome does. So beauty is associated with the action, not with appearance. Beauty is always associated with the action and not with appearance. That's why a great Hindi poet Goswami Tulsidas has also said, Sundarta ka sundartai. Means beautiful is that who does it. Actions, your actions are beautiful, you are really beautiful. So beauty lies in our actions, lies in our soul, not in appearance. And what was the problem of Deri? Deri's problem was that he was very much hesitant to show his face to the common people because the half face was burnt by acid. And through that half burnt face, he was suffering from inferiority complex. He didn't want, because he said that the life is hell. Life is a spoil. But it is not so. The face was burnt, not the soul. And beauty lies in the soul. Because our body is transitory, our soul is permanent. And as John Keats says, a thing of beauty is a joy forever, which is permanent. Beauty is perpetual, not transitory. Beauty is not associated with the thing which is short-lived, which is transitory. Beauty is always associated with the things which are perpetual, which are eternal, which are permanent. So, through the conversation, Mr. Lamb tried to root out the complexity of guilt. And thereafter, Mr. Deri was very much happy because he came out of that agony of that complexity of guilt. So some of the questions. So this is the essence of the. He also explained to him, you see, I am also disabled because one leg is blown out. I am having a thin leg, but it is not going to affect me anyway. So see some of the questions. This chapter was taught twice ago, and this time also going to have revision. Revision was also given, but again, what draws Deri towards Mr. Lamb in spite of himself? Draws. Start Deri. In the very beginning, Deri was hesitant, but after coming in contact with Mr. Lamb, after knowing the attitude and thought process of Mr. Lamb, after knowing the attitude and behavior of Mr. Lamb, he was able to understand the real meaning of life. Mr. Lamb was a very positive man, was very optimistic about life, and he very successfully was able to convince Derry that your half-burnt face is not at all a hurdle in the way of your life. So that is the thing, that thought process, the attitude, the behavior, the optimism, positivity inside Mr. Lamb draws Derry towards him, owing to those attributes, those human qualities made Mr. Lamb a superhuman being, and keeping in view of those human qualities, Derry was attracted towards Mr. Lamb, and he came out of his mental agony of guilt complexity, and he felt like going to Mr. Lamb again and again. That draws him towards. It's okay now? Next. What are the ways in which Mr. Lamb tries to overcome his feelings? What is feelings? Feelings. Mr. Lamb, though he lived alone, but he always welcomed the people who visit his garden, especially children. He provides them apple. He would never mind the children coming and plucking the fruit from his garden. He also devotes his time in reading good books, and he always maintains a positive posture, positive attitude towards life. And in this way, he tries to overcome his. Derry, another example. He was not familiar with Derry before, but even for the first time he was meeting Derry, and even in the first meeting, he was able to convince him, to impress him in a positive way. So, 3 or 4 points. Always maintains the positive attitude, positive postures, good thinking, habit of reading good books, always dealing with people in a very positive and cool way, welcoming people who visit his garden. In this way, Mr. Lamb tries to overcome his feelings of loneliness. Next. See, very important question. The actual pain or inconvenience caused by physical impairment is often much less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with disabilities. Two things are there. The pain of physical impairment means if somebody is physically challenged, physically impaired, it may cause him pain in discharging the normal duties. Suppose a person in one hand or one leg. So there must be painful for him, but it is less, this pain is less than the sense of alienation. Alienation means if he is left in seclusion, ekaki ka jivan, ekan. If a person is not associated with the society and he is secluded, that seclusion is much more painful than the physical impairment. That's why, children, it is said that man is a social animal. He or she cannot live without society. Either he is a mad person, a person living away from society, either God or a mad person. A normal human being cannot live without society. A great thinker, Aristotle, has said, man is a social animal. He cannot live without society. That's why when a punishment is given to a person is sent behind bars in a lonely cell. What is that? The greatest punishment. Don't give physical punishment to a person. Just put him in seclusion. Nobody to talk to, nobody to have conversation, nobody to have interaction, no meeting, nothing of the kind. That is the greatest punishment. In our IPC, Indian Penal Code, this punishment is given lifelong imprisonment. What? Means person is social, cannot live without, as fishes cannot live without water, human beings cannot live without society. And to seclude the person from the society is the greatest punishment. That's why. So the pain of seclusion is much more than the physical impairment. Understand? Because a person is compelled to live in society, cannot live without society. All the activities of a person from birth to death, society is there. Right from the birth, even after death, people are there from society. They go for cremation or for the last ritual. So birth to death, a person cannot be away from the society. And it is the greatest punishment if a person is secluded from the society. So if a physically challenged person, physically disabled person or impaired one is facing seclusion, this pain is much more than the physical impairment. That is the meaning of the question. Look at the question and the language. That is, the actual pain or inconvenience caused by physical impairment is often much less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with disabilities. Understand? A person with disabilities, impairment, physical challenge, that physical challenge doesn't give him more pain than the pain faced by the person in seclusion. If he is avoided or discarded by the society, that pain is greater than the physical impairment. Understand? That's why we, the people of our society, it is our responsibility to treat those persons with love, respect and affection. They are also the part and parcel of our society. They shouldn't feel. That's why our Honorable Prime Minister has coined a word. Before that they were called Viklang, but now they called Divyang. Understand? This word is to avoid that negativity in the word Viklang. This word Viklang reveals certain kind of negativity in address or in addressing a person. That's why Divyang. So, pain of seclusion is much more than the physical impairment, and that is the pain Deri was facing. One of the important characters of this story, Lamb and Deri. So after getting the half of face burnt by acid, Deri was not coming in common people so as to show his face, what people think of him, what people react towards him. But after meeting with Mr. Lamb, he was completely easy. The burden of complexity was gone from his heart and soul. As Mr. Lamb beautifully explained him that this is the appearance, and appearance hardly matters. It doesn't affect our soul in any way. Physical impairment doesn't affect our soul because beauty lies in the soul, lies in the thought process. Understand? So if you are supposed to write such type of questions, you need to compare the physical impairment and the pain faced by the pain of seclusion. So the actual pain or inconvenience caused by physical impairment is often much less than the sense of two types of pain. Pain caused by physical impairment and pain caused by alienation. Alienation, if you discard somebody, don't meet, be away, maintain a distance from the person. That pain is much more than the physical impairment, and that is the sense. And through this story and content of the story, through Mr. Lamb, the writer tries to bridge the gap between these people with disability and normal people, because both are same. If our soul is there, our thought process is there, positivity is there, our physical challenge is not going to affect. And you might have seen so many people in this world have done wonders, created wonders which a normal person cannot. That's right. So the next one, will Derry get back to his old seclusion, or will Mr. Lamb's brief association effect a change in the kind of life he will live in the future? Very nice question. What was the earlier concept? What was the earlier concept of Derry? The earlier concept of Derry, that he would not face anybody because his half face was burnt. He is not a kind of person who could face the people. That was the thinking. That was the life is squared, life is hell. It was the earlier, before meeting Mr. Lamb. But after the meeting with Mr. Lamb's association changed his thought process. And children, you know, association changes the life of a person. Do you believe in that? A number of examples are there. We are the product of our association. Of course, we are the product of our association. Several examples are there. Angulimal changed totally. It turned into a new leaf after meeting Lord Buddha. Valmiki, Maharshi Valmiki, who created Ramayana. Who was Valmiki before that? He was a very hardened dacoit, could rob the people, kill the people. And after the association with that Brahmin, he changed his life. Association makes it so. I can give you one example. There is a particular nakshatra, that Swati, you might have heard, Swati nakshatra. Several nakshatras are there, Ashwini, Varni, Kritika, Rohini, this like nakshatra. And there is a nakshatra, Swati, and it is said that the raindrop that falls from the sky during that Swati nakshatra, it creates wonder wherever it goes. I give you 3 examples. If that raindrop of Swati nakshatra falls in the opening leaf of banana, you see a banana tree, and the central leaf that is opening, that is round, there is a gap, hole, and if that raindrop of Swati nakshatra falls in that banana, that opening leaf, it becomes camphor. The raindrop turns into camphor, kapoor, original, natural camphor. It is created, it is said. If the same raindrop falls in the mouth of a snake, poisonous, suppose if the mouth of that snake is opened, and during that Swati nakshatra the raindrop goes in the mouth of that poisonous snake, it becomes poison. The raindrop becomes poison. And if countless sheep are there, sheep near the seashore, and if original pearl is obtained from the sheep, सागर में किनारे बहुत सारे sheep they are there, and if the mouth of a particular sheep is opened, and if the Swati raindrop falls in that very sheep, it turns into the original pearl, priceless pearl, costing crores of rupees. Whatever we get in the market, this is the synthetic one, artificial pearl. But the original pearl is formed when the raindrop of that Swati Nakshatra falls in the open mouth of that very sheep. It turns into a priceless pearl. So see, what I meant to say, that raindrop is the same, but it went and the same raindrop goes to the drain, it becomes mud, कीचड़ बन जाता है. It is not the raindrop, it is the association where it falls. Understand? The same raindrop turns into camphor when it goes to banana. It turns into poison when it falls in the snake mouth. It turns into pearls when it falls inside the sea, and it becomes mud, dirty when it falls in a drain. This is the association, the power of association. So many people changed their lives. Swami Vivekananda also changed his life after coming in contact with Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Several people are there in this world. The moment they got the association with great people, so their lives are changed. Dairy was also changed. You can see the early thought process of Dairy before meeting Mr. Lamb, and later on, after meeting Mr. Lamb, the thought process was entirely changed. And this is due to the power of association of Mr. Lamb. So the question says, will Dairy get back to his old seclusion? Means before meeting Mr. Lamb, Dairy was in seclusion, living a lonely life, was not coming out of his house because he had the guilt complex that my half face is burnt. So he was in old seclusion. So the question is, will he come out of his seclusion after the brief association with Mr. Lamb? Or will he go back to the seclusion? Will he maintain the same posture after meeting with Mr. Lamb? That my half face is burnt, how can I show my face to the world? No. It was the early thought process. So after meeting with Mr. Lamb, he completely changed. So this question is asked from the student. Will he go back to his seclusion? No. He will not go. He will, see, the brief association affected his personality, and that will very much influence the future life of Dairy. It will influence the future life with all positivity, with no complexity, with no guilt, nothing of the kind, with no inferiority complex. And this could happen only after meeting Mr. Lamb. So very thoughtful story, and the nice messages you could get. So children, the time is up, and in the next class, I'd like to discuss some more questions based on the same chapter. Okay, thank you.